Retirement should be the best phase of your life, not a time of uncertainty.
You're right. Many people enter retirement without a clear plan or vision, often leading them to unfulfilled days and some missed opportunities.
And without a solid plan or a vision, you really risk spending your retirement feeling lost and unsatisfied.
Yeah, but we hear things like, I'm already retired and it's too late for me to start planning. And we're here to tell you that's not the case.
Yeah, because we had a little bit of a rough start. We didn't plan.
Retirement mishap?
Yeah, we didn't. That's the name of the video. Retirement mishaps.
That's us.
We should do that. But this throughout the last 3 years, we've obviously gotten on track. But it's not too late to start planning for sure. The other thing that we hear people say is, my dream retirement is sitting back and drinking pina coladas on the beach, which is what many of the commercials are on TV that I grew up watching, thinking, once we get here, we just sit back and take it easy. And we're going to tell you, we are telling you, that doesn't work forever.
And I think our generation is figuring that out, right? We tried it and we didn't do well. If you guys have watched our videos, you probably heard the stories. But I think our generation is starting to take retirement a bit more seriously.
Yeah, and that's good. Now, if you're new here, I'm Mark, and this is my wife, Jody.
And we don't focus on the financial aspects of retirement, but rather your lifestyle, your health, your relationships, and more.
So hit the subscribe button. But more importantly for us, share this video with people that you care about who are on the same journey that you are. Now, I made a little comment in the beginning about when we first retired, we screwed up a little bit, and we did. We found ourselves feeling really aimless and disconnected. We didn't have a plan. We didn't have routines. We were really sitting in the space of, I worked for 40 years. Now I just want to take it easy.
But it didn't hit us all at once, and you may be finding this. You might still be in that early stage where sitting around doing nothing, sleep until whenever you want, going out to lunch, whatever it is that you're doing, that might feel good, and that's okay.
It is. It's almost...
At some point, though, sorry to interrupt you.
No, I was interrupting you.
At some point, though, you do have to kind of, course correct and figure out what the next 30 years will look like.
It's almost called some people call that very beginning part of retirement the honeymoon phase. You're not, it's like when you first get married, you're trying to figure each other out a little bit. You're trying to, to be the best partner you can be. When you enter retirement, you're trying to figure things out and you're trying to be the best retiree that you can be. But it's easy to get lost and it's easy to wander a little bit.
It is.
Like you said, it's okay for a little while.
Right.
But we know people who have been in this honeymoon phase for 5 years, and now they're really starting to feel that their health isn't good. They're drinking too much. They don't really have a sense of purpose.
Right.
I mean, there's a lot that can go wrong.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a link down below for our 1-year retirement checklist. It really is a good forum for you to take a look at to really start to prepping you for retirement. But why don't we jump into the teaching points today?
Okay.
What's the first one?
So the first thing I think is really important, and we didn't do this when we first retired, but I would advise people moving into retirement to do this first, and that's reflect on your life up until that point in which you retire. Understanding your past experiences and your achievements, that will help you shape your retirement vision.
We're big journalers, so we now journal every day. We journal a lot. We journal about scripts we want to write because it's nice to write it down, but really to sit down and start to note all your accomplishments. What was your identity during your career and all the things that you did? What brought you the most joy? What were some of the challenges that you faced and how you overcame them? And really reflect on both your professional and your personal relationships. That's really important. And then I think the big thing that we talk to people about is, what are your values? What are your core values? What have they been up until now?
Right. What have they been up to now? What do you need to shift?
Right.
What do you want to keep? And what do you want to explore as new core values for the next 30 years?
Yeah, which brings us to the second point, which is you've reflected on your life up until now. Now baseline it. Where are you? So you're not the CEO of your company. You're not reporting into work every day. So really having an understanding of where you are with your physical and mental health, what's your financial situation, including savings, investments, and debts.
And even really reviewing your current lifestyle, your daily routines, your existing social connections, and maybe even what support networks you either have or you need to find. As you move through this phase, it's a big transition.
And I think the other thing to make note of is to really make a list of what your current hobbies and interests are, because you've now got more time. And you want to use part of that time for the things that interest you outside of what you used to do at work.
I know when I retired, that list was very small.
Yeah.
Between working and the kids and trying to get everything done in a day. Okay, the third thing that we would suggest is start to get your head around setting some clear goals. Goals that will provide you direction and purpose for your retirement time frame. Define what you want to achieve in retirement, both short and long term. And I think short is almost more important than long because it builds to your long term.
Well, that's that point of feeling in the honeymoon phase. Experiment, try a few things, but set a time limit. So if you want to sit back and take it easy and really do nothing and just ease into this new phase of life, that's okay. But short term, put a time limit on it. Say we're not going to do anything new for 6 months.
Right.
We're not going to talk about downsizing. We're not going to do anything. We're just going to relax into retirement. But that piece of relaxing needs to end. So like you said, setting some short-term goals about stopping things and starting things is really important. And you've got to start setting some goals for your health, personal growth, your relationships, if you want to travel, and maybe you want to do a little short-term travel in the beginning, but really prioritize that.
Yeah, prioritize those goals so that you don't feel overwhelmed. The last thing we would advocate is feeling overwhelmed in retirement. So writing down your goals, keeping them visible, keeping them in a priority order, I think makes sense.
Right. All right, the fourth thing is spending some time determining some milestones that work for you. So again, we're going to do nothing for 6 months. Then we're going to start working on our exercise, and we're going to, celebrate that. We're going to start going to a gym. We're going to take up a couple of hobbies. But having some milestones, some achievements that you can celebrate along the way makes it fun.
I know one of the things that I did was it seemed that, and you guys know Mark and I together have 6 children, it seemed like we were traveling to all the children that were far away. And I remember one of the milestones and one of the short-term goals that I made, and I made a deal with our daughter Jordan, was I'm going to come see you more in New York City because you're close to where I am. And for some reason I skip over it because I think, oh, you're so close.
Right.
And I made that a relationship, under my relationship bucket, a short-term goal. Spend more time in New York City with Jordan. And we set up a schedule. It was really rewarding for both of us. And I think it really helped our relationship.
Yeah, and I think that goes with this last point under this milestone topic is, adjust the milestones as needed based upon your progress and circumstances,
Absolutely.
which what you just did, which leads into the fifth one, which is important.
The fifth one really is allow for course correction, kind of unlike the goals you had in your corporation or your organization or during your career. Retirement goals allow for flexibility. They allow for you to adapt and change so that you can stay on track. So reviewing them regularly is a good idea, even if it's every Sunday night. I'm going to look at how I did last week. Mm-hmm. What do I want to put on my agenda for this week? And seeking feedback from some trusted friends or family and your advisors to just kind of figure out, am I making my way through this okay?
I think that's a good point because we tend to, I think especially men, we go through this process alone a lot and we're not really open to chatting about things. So having some trusted other men, let's say, or some people that you can trust, that you can talk vulnerably about what's working and what isn't, and get some feedback on some course correction. And there's a lot of people, there's 10,000 people turning 65 every day. So we are not alone. And we keep adapting, we keep adjusting as we go through
Absolutely.
This phase to learn more. And, also embrace this as an opportunity for growth and learning.
Absolutely, which leads into the sixth and final point.
Right. So, celebrating as you move through the process. We can be, as humans, really hard on ourselves. I wasted the first 6 months doing nothing. No. Celebrate the fact that you did nothing for 6 months. Have a different mindset about it. That was your short-term goal, and you achieved it.
Right.
So we tend to get ourselves caught up in negative thinking. And listen, you can have a bad day. You can have a bad week. You can have a bad month. You got to work towards getting out of it, though, right?
And that's where I really think keeping a journal to document your journey and celebrate your growth really makes a lot of sense.
Right. Having a good plan of some fun, special activities or events to mark significant accomplishments is good. Celebrate the fact that
You have to plan those special events
that's what
and
I
those
mean.
activities
Yeah.
and things. So, a lot of times it just doesn't come to your front door. You actually have to be the one to coordinate and plan.
So if you have, like we did, we retired on the same day. And let's say our goal was to do nothing new in the first 6 months. Well, set a date in your calendar. We're going to go out to dinner and celebrate that as a 6-month anniversary of retirement and talk about it and have fun with it. So you could do little things like that to make it more fun. Your retirement needs to be and should be a time of joy and fulfillment. So if you follow these steps, it's going to ensure that you're actively creating the best retirement possible.
So take the first step today by reflecting on your life up until now and start your journey towards an amazing retirement.
So we hope you like this video. This next one, 6 ways to improve your retirement and life after work. We dive deeper into enhancing your retirement experience. Some of the things we talk about is, you can't live in the past. Don't set unrealistic expectations at the age of 60. And stop resisting change in general. Watch this one next. It's really going to give you some new mindset and ideas on how to improve your retirement.